January. I'm going to guess this is about 105 rides, I'm going to say. This is, what are we at?
1st of
August 1st. So again, my whole deal, or not the whole deal, but remember these arcs I talk about. Getting the ribs out of the way. Number one, to keep from getting bucked off, when you do the cold start, see how his neck's bent? If I was to get on and I had that much control on his ribs, I could maybe snatch his head away and keep him from throwing me off, right? This still continues on up into my riding. I put him on a circle right away so I can get the ribs out of the way so I can go in the direction that's needed. So I stay on circles for a good 60 days before I leave circles. Look at the arc that I've got in here. Now, look how it's him pulling on himself on these reins. And he puts the slack in these reins himself. I'm not the bad guy up there tugging on him. I'll continue on here in a minute and tell you a little bit more of where we're going here today. We are going to make a little barrel run at the end of this video. Probably get bored of watching my videos in the groundwork, but this groundwork all leads up into the same rein positions on their back. See, this is a direct rein. See, if I wanted, which I'm not going to do because his head's tied around, but I could give that indirect rein like that and move it up on the ground, just like I was trying to get his ribs out of the way. But anyways, so here, see how I can just lead him forward. And he just gets to go around here and tug on these bridle reins all on his own. I'm not the bad guy doing it. I'll talk a little bit more about that once I get up on his back. All being said, because you're even going to see, I'm going to do a couple rollbacks on this fence over here, but you're going to see this horse get his head in the air, and when I pull on these reins with a little bit of speed, you can tell that I haven't got, you know, reiner horse control. Not like we're wanting reiner horse control, but it would be nice, like if, and to go a million miles an hour to the first barrel and be able to pull on two reins and slow them down through feel rather than just through training them to a pattern, right? And that's the difference that in my training is that I know that I want to make tight turns and I'm going to have to pull these shoulders one way or stand them up another way, right? Okay, so again, getting this indirect rein that I talk about, did you just see that, folks, how this pinky goes under? Now, when we first did the cold start, you see how that moves the hind end? But if I just do it a little bit lighter, now I don't move the hind end, but I'm moving the ribs, right? And them ribs are gonna clear for this hind leg to get up underneath and be a good balance point for him to keep driving and going forward around the barrels. Your horse gets straight like this, not to say that horses can't get around barrels being flat, because they do. But you can make tighter turns and keep them in four-wheel drive if you get these ribs out of the way. Believe it or not. Some are probably going to disagree, but that's my take on it. So again, in my training, again, remember that in the cold start, if a horse was to go and buck and I can get these ribs to get out of the way and pull his head, I can keep him from bucking. Number one, when you start getting on horses and want to keep safe with them. Then I go from there into my circles and I'm trying to get them with my body to keep the ribs out of the way, look where they're going and not hold them. So here's the thing that I'm trying to get across to some of you people. You've seen some of my clients before when they come here and they ride and they ride around like this and they have this contact and it looks pretty. But wouldn't this make sense to let this contact go, let them wander out of the circle and pull on these shoulders to pull them back onto the circle? Because you're going to need to make that same pull on the back side of your barrels sometimes to say, hey, don't wander out there, get tighter. So this is just a bigger barrel when I'm training horses on a circle. And then getting them set up for the turn by doing almost an indirect but not, and driving them up into the pocket with the ribs out of the way instead of the head going that way and the ribs falling in. And remember, my lingo here talks about ribs. Ribs are connected to the shoulder. So it's standing the shoulder up. Canter my circles, leave him alone. You're going to see him wander out. You're going to see me pull him right through the middle of the circle. So that's getting this outside shoulder to come when I'm pulling on an inside rein. You are going to see me use an outside rein. Exaggerate to teach, refine as you go along. Someday the outside rein will phase out and I'll be able to get him to make the turn with just an inside rein, okay? You're going to see me do a few little exercises here where I'm going to challenge him to move the outside of his body with the inside rein. And then you're going to see me make a little run here. So in recap of what you're going to see, cantering the circle, leave him alone. He's going to wander out. I'm going to pull him through the middle. He's going to be flat. You're going to see me stand him up, let him go. And here's the catch to all this, guys. By doing that, by leaving him on a loose rein and taking a hold of him, I'm probably going to take a hold of him 20 different times, going each direction. So wouldn't that make sense to take a hold of him, make the move? First he made the mistake, take a hold of him, make the move. Because you're going to need to do that same thing on the barrels. You're going to need to help them. A year down the road, the helping will start phasing out. But it does take these well-bred horses that can really run. It's going to take you a year or two to percent a day to keep moving forward. And pretty soon you're going to have your 100% better. But you've got to do a little to get more and then total it up over a year. And pretty soon you're going to have you a nice project. So here we go. Out of the way, and I'm talking about using my body. I'm actually, this muscle right down here and into my butt is pulling, I feel it pulling these ribs out of the way as I'm going around in this circle. That's that same move as Marianne standing at that barrel, but I need that barrel right now. Is that, see that move right there? This here is grabbing, pulling that horse out of the way. That's move number one. Now watch as I get to the back side, that muscle is going to sit down. It's up and now watch this sit down and drive. See how that muscle was off, it's off, it's off, then it sits down. That same move I was just doing on the ground in that little tight circle. I'm trying to canter a big circle right now. See, loose rein now, he stays on the circle. Now watch it start to get a little, now I can work on an inside rein. The outside was I worked on, now the inside. Here we go. Alright, so did you see how them same moves in just basic horse training to keep my horse on the circle was the same moves that I made on the little tiny circle to get him around the barrels. His shoulders were wandering off to the barn. I pulled him through the middle, used an inside rein, then used the outside rein, right? Okay, body first. All right. Now I know we don't want that kind of that big time move on our barrel horses, but exaggerate to teach and refine as you come along. Okay. So that's how it started out. That's how this horse was, wanting to leave that way. So I worked on that shoulder through the middle. Then when that got good, then I stood the inside shoulder up or the ribs up. Got him really arched like that. Tried to anyways. Day by day by day by day. Around there, kind of got that okay. Then I put them on the rights, my barrels, rights, all right? Get them off, try to use as much of my body as I could, then sit and pull them through, go to the next barrel. Stand the shoulder up, sit, pull the outside shoulder through to get to the next barrel. That's going to the right. Let's do a few lefts now. Here we go. Go use that panel over there, step out into the middle a little bit. So going to the left, he's pretty good. Plus being I'm on camera, I'm going to cut it short. But you can see how he's not wandering to the outside. So I'm just working on the inside. On that inside. Nice. Let it go. Let him make the mistakes. All right. Let it go. All right. Then when you get past that point, how about two reins? Can you pick your horse up with two reins? Now, here we are into 90 days of training. And I'm starting to work on vertical flexion. Vertical flexion is not only makes them athletic, but it also tells them to slow down and get calm. Back off, use your brain, get calm. I hold them like this, my hands are always tied up. I can't do nothing. My hands are working. Now they're not working. Now I can go ahead, drive with my core. Start working on vertical flexion. How about a little counter canter? Nice. I want to make this little move over here on the panel a few times. Watch where my focus is going. Nice. Okay, now step out of my way. I'll make a little tiny run. So you seen me do the tight little circles, right? Softness, ribs out of the way. And then you see me sit, pull the front end around, right? And then you see me head out onto the big circles. Loose rein. If he was wandering out, I'd pull him through the middle. See how easy that front end moves, right? And then after you get that going, now you're going around there. See how he just automatically, I can drive him forward with my body and I'm getting that curve. Wouldn't that be nice to go into a barrel and just drive with your body, okay? You see that? And so now I'm working on the inside. And then when I got that going, then that tells me, all right, now I'm ready to get on the barrels, right? So remember, and I didn't do the greatest job today, but I'm trying my damnedest to move them ribs out of the way. Move them out of the way, move them out of the way. And then sit, then you sit down, and you get that front end pulled through the turn there. So that was what today was all about. And you can see how there's a lot of work, which are the shoulders, which I call them the ribs, which is connected to here, and that gives this balance to get underneath them and drive and keep that four-wheel drive. I'm trying to keep the front end up too. I noticed I'm letting this front end kind of down on the back side of the second, he's kind of wallering a little bit, which is okay. Again, percent a day. I know what I'm working on. It's the same as my big circle, and I just stick with it every day. A year from now, I just, keep going, and pretty soon you're jackpotting, and a year or whatever, you got a pretty nice barrel horse with a nice mind. Okay, so that's my today's horsemanship. Thank you. So we talk about circles, 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 circles. Once I get my circles great, now I'm on straight lines. Understanding that circles shorten your horse. So if your horse wants to have roller skates on, do more circles. If your horse wants to have more brakes on, do more straight lines. All right, that's just a rule of thumb of horsemanship. But here we go with Joe's horsemanship. Circle, 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 circles, right? Now that he's good at the circles, and they are race bred barrel horses, you're probably going to need to be on circles for a good 60 days. Now I'm on straight lines. You're going to watch me. I'm trying to go down to the other end of the arena without holding him. I'm going to ask for a lead. I'm going to be asking for the hip to be in the right direction, the shoulder stood up, soft in the mouth, canter down there, don't run off, and just come to a stop at the other end. Straight lines back and forth. So here we go. Walk forward, put the hip in the direction, keep the shoulder stood up, soft face, depart. So, I know it doesn't look like much, but for this horse, it was a lot. For him to depart off without grabbing the bridle and being an ass, and go to the other end without trying to run off, it was a real task for this horse. I just basically did that with him. This is probably going on 40 days, just trying to canter straight lines, one end of the arena to the other, getting the lead, staying soft in the mind and the face, because here comes in that vertical flexion, or if he gets a little out of control, I can take a hold of him. Not only is this for athleticism, it also tells my horse, stay left brain, stay thinking, and don't be an ass. Stay cool, and we'll get you to the other end or around the barrels when I take a hold of you. Just kind of relaxes him and says, hey, stay with me. It all started with one rein. One rein, remember I said we get an arc going this way, we get an arc going this way, and then we put our two arcs together. Thanks. Good.